Welcome back to another training. Here in this training, we're going to talk about the importance of content and the importance of social media and the cold, hard truth of everything relating to content marketing, content strategizing, and so on and so forth. My name is Eric. I'm the content director here at Scale My Cleaning Business. Please don't mind the messy background. I just rearranged the office space, so everything is kind of all over the place. But without further ado, let's dive straight into this. So in this training, I'm actually going to dive into a deck that I just created here. And it's going to be a short, quick deck, but it's probably going to change your viewpoint on content and social media in general. If you have any questions, we're actually going to go over them at the end of the presentation. So just in the meantime, have a pen, paper, write down your questions, and we'll share with them at the end of the deck. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can put it in the comment section, and me and other members of the team are probably going to message you back with some answers. But yeah, let's dive straight into this. So again, welcome back to Creators Workshop. This training is about understanding content and social media. First and foremost, you are not over content. You're not better than content. You're not more important than content. And the thing is, when I was reading an article, I saw that the marketing execs of Adidas and Nike mentioned that if you're not putting all of your money into content marketing, you're doing something wrong. So let's really think about it. Big companies like Adidas and Nike, if I were to ask you, what do they spend most of their money on? You may be thinking of ads, marketing, production, productivity, paying celebrities, paying athletes. Yes, those are big contributors. But the most important thing is that before they hire the celebrity, before they onboard an athlete, before they spend millions of dollars into execs that make decisions on how to promote their brand, who are they promoting them to? It's to you and I, to your mother, to your father, to your next door neighbor, to your cat. They're promoting it to everybody. But what is the best way nowadays to promote it to this so-called everybody? And it's content. Content is king. It doesn't matter if you're a business owner or a content creator. Content is king, and the best way to market yourself or to market your business is going to be through content. So just be understanding that content is not just this thing that you can toss and throw around. It's a make or break thing. And unfortunately, you are not over it. Because without content, Adidas and Nike wouldn't be where they're at today. Secondly, stop selling your shit. People aren't dumb. Your audience is not stupid. They're immediately going to be turned off if it looks like marketing, if they feel as though they're being sold to. People naturally don't like being sold to. When was the last time someone called you and it was something about promoting a product or promoting a service, and you instantly say, wrong number, don't know what you're talking about, no, sorry, not interested, goodbye, hang up the phone call? Probably every single time. And this one person told me that if it smells like marketing, it's shit content. Simple. So don't try selling your services. Don't try selling your stuff, because people just don't like being sold to. And that's the cold, hard truth. If they're genuinely interested, if they're genuine fans of your product, of your service, of your brand, of you, then they're going to ask. Then they instantly become hot leads, no? So stop selling your shit. If it smells like marketing, it's just shit marketing. Plain, old, simple. Just want to make sure that no one's waiting in the waiting room. Fantastic. 3, a lot of you guys believe that content is just coming up with original ideas or creating something from scratch or starting off with a blank canvas. No. That's typically not the case. Many believe that content is just coming up with original ideas. And like I said before, that is very, very difficult to do. There are 3 different ways to genuinely create content. So I call it the three C's, and they are creation, collaboration, and curation. So with these new ideas in mind, there's no reason for you to not be able to create content. So what is creation? Let's start with the first C. What is creation? That's a good question. So creation is exactly what you think it is. It's, having a blank canvas, having a blank template, and just creating it and developing visuals, videos, graphic art, graphic design onto your platforms, onto your social media, so that your audience can view it, they can like it, they can reshare it, they can comment on it, they can engage with it, they can be a part of it. And that's typically what creation is. And the more original it is, the higher the chance that it's going to be viewed, it's going to be engaged. And usually original creations, original designs typically are more favorable towards the algorithm, because it's something that the algorithm hasn't seen or hasn't really viewed upon. If it looks like every other content on social media, then obviously the algorithm is going to pick up on that and kind of be dismissive towards your creation. But creation, the first C of the three C's, is actually the most common one and the most misunderstood at some points. So that's kind of where it is. Creation is really all about originality and authenticity. The second C is collaboration. So collaboration is when you work with someone else, and there's some benefits to it because it saves you time and it saves you energy. And the most important part is you can combine your audiences together. So for example, my audience is typically small business owners that want to promote their brand, want to build a voice. And when I first started off, I was freelancing to create designs and videos for a lot of small business owners. And once I partnered up with Scale My Cleaning Business, their audience were also small business owners, as well as mid-tier business owners, as well as high premium business owners and entrepreneurs. So once I was able to join into their coaching staff and coach social media to my original audience, as well as Scale My Cleaning Business audience, it was a win-win for both situations. Because not only do they acquire a social media coach or a mentor and a guide, I was also able to acquire small business owners and mid-tier business owners and high-tier business owners to not only work with me, but also at least recognize who I am and understand what I do and how I can help and fit in with their business. So collaboration is key. The third C is a little bit trickier. It's called curation. So what curation is it's promoting other people's work. And to be quite honest, it's not stealing another person's work as long as you ask for permission and as long as you both are in agreement that it can be shared. And I'm sure there's going to be either some compensation or some compromise to make curation work. But you see this all of the time. When we look at designer brands, when we look at just clothing brands in general, we have all these models promoting their clothes, promoting their art, promoting whatever product that they are promoting. And it's a win-win for both parties, because for the model, they're getting the attention that they would want. And for the design brand or the company, they just have content that they literally had to not put any effort towards. And obviously both parties are in agreement. And in that certain specific situation, there will be some compensation going on. But that's pretty much what curation is. Building content is already a job. It's already a lot of work. So naturally, as humans, naturally as busy people like you and I, we're trying to think of ways where we can accomplish as much as possible while maintaining efficiency, professionalism, and the right results in as, I don't want to say as little effort as possible, but without overdoing so much effort. And curation is that probable solution, which is promoting other people's work. Again, making sure that you're not stealing work. And at the end of the day, you're building portfolio to yourself and to the other party. So an example that a lot of cleaning businesses can do is you can promote the product that you are using to take care of those water rings that you may find on the wooden desks of residential homes or even some office spaces. They're pretty hard to take rid of. So, all I know is that you can't just get a scrubby and some soap and some hot water to scrub off the water rings, because you may damage the surface and ultimately you may not even remove the water ring that you were trying to remove in the first place. So what I've seen a lot of cleaning businesses do is use product that is well known to removing those water rings and kind of do like a before and after shot or a video of pre-product and post-product, and then just give a shout out to the company. The company that you're shouting out to is going to like it because you are a consumer of their product, and the company that you're shouting out to gets to show that off, as well as you getting the attention of a bigger account, of a bigger company. And you guys get to combine the audiences. You're not stealing any work. You're building a portfolio, you're building a presence, you're getting recognition. And that's how curation can help you. And when I talk about effort, all you have to do is just take a before and after picture, post it, tag the account, use SEO words like thank you, whatever company that you're promoting. Thank you for this, before and after this, how to take care of water rings, how to remove water rings using this, how to remove water rings thanks to company. And that's pretty much curation in a nutshell. And when I talk about the importance and the efficiency of content, this slide right here, creation, collaboration, and curation, is crucial. It's really understand the 3 different ways to create content. Like I said before, with these new ideas in mind, there's absolutely no reason for you to not be able to create content. So I know Carmen here is pretty much a content creator, from what I remember, and she creates content for other accounts. And sometimes she comes up to me saying, what ideas can I come up with? What are some new content strategies that I can explore? And this slide is going to help you. You already are exploring and testing out the creation side of the 3 C's, but venture into collaboration, venture into curation. Look at some of the bigger cleaning accounts or just content creators accounts and see which posts are collaborations and which posts are curations. And a lot of times, about 90% of their posts are going to fall within creation, collaboration, and curation, because those are the 3 C's of success. Those are the 3 C's of creation. And those are the 3 C's that are what generates views, engagement, and attention. So hopefully that helps. All right, now let's talk about consistency, right? We got to understand that it's going to be a long, slow, tedious process. Now, everyone knows that consistency is key, but a lot of people take it the wrong way. Now, why is that? When I talk about consistency, it's not posting the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. That's genuinely not the case. You don't want to post the same things over and over again. It's about being consistent in 3 things: the timing, the branding, and the personality. Consistency is not about the trends and the virality of things. It's about why people should get to know you, why people should get to know your business. So when I talk about branding, I'm talking about like the aesthetic. And the aesthetic can be incorporated with company color schemes, company styles, as all the way down to the small detail of the fonts that you use for your company. Consistency is going to be lacking if your account has like cleaning tutorials, cleaning videos, and then all of a sudden a sneaker shoe breakdown. The reason why people appreciate consistency, but they don't say it, is because it's already ingrained in our human brain. Why do we anticipate for shows coming out every Sunday? Because it's the same exact show, the same exact storyline, the same characters, the same plot, the same problem, the same drama, the same comedy, whatever it may be. It's consistent, it's the same. So we come back to it to learn more, to watch more, to be entertained, to be pleased. TV shows, late night shows. Why are certain late night shows at a certain time on certain days? Because wouldn't the show be not as effective if they switched up those days without telling you or without letting you know in advance? The show wouldn't be nearly as successful. People will get annoyed and they will get turned off, and they will do whatever they can to dismiss or to forget or to reject those shows. So consistency is really, really important, and that goes the same for social media. Yes, social media and the internet wasn't designed to market, wasn't designed to be advertised. Back then, radios were designed for radio spots to market and to advertise and to inform. TV channels and TV advertisements were invented and were built to market, to sell, to promote, so on and so forth. But the internet and social media wasn't designed to be that way. So the necessity of being consistent and the importance of being consistent is more crucial than ever before, because it wasn't designed to be that way. So us as creators, us as accounts, have to be consistent, because someday, 10 years from now, this is going to be a standard for many accounts and for your future competitors. It would be a shame if you haven't started that earlier, aka if you haven't started now. So be consistent, because people follow who you are, not who you are aspiring to be. Be genuine, be you. That's kind of like what the personality side of things is. And in terms of timing, that's pretty self-explanatory. Don't post 1 week and then be gone for the next 3 months. If I look at a lot of cleaning accounts, I'll see gaps of either hours apart to months apart within the same account. As I mentioned before, my other trainings, the algorithm does not like that at all. The algorithm wants to promote and to help out and to support accounts that are consistent, because you as a content creator are an engaging user. You are the accounts, you are one of the accounts, I should say, that's keeping other users on their platform, on their account, on their For You page, on their social media feed, because you're keeping them on their platform. So the algorithm is rewarding you with those people that are wanting to view content that they want to view, aka your audience, your ideal audience, your prospects, your future clients. The timing is more important, because not only just for the algorithm and for the social media platform's sake, it's also a disciplinary thing. How disciplined are you to post content for your fans? How consistent and how stoic are you in terms of posting your content, giving the people what they want, as well as promoting your services without promoting your service? How are you giving value? Are you giving value because that one banger video that you made, do you really think that one banger video is going to draw in audiences and clients and future prospects? Definitely not the case. You can create these banger videos, but you can have a banger video come out maybe once a month, followed by consistent postings. Or as your company gets bigger, maybe those banger videos become more frequent, but make sure that you're still posting within those gaps, because people need to recognize you. People need to understand that you are a company that's serious, and a company that's serious about their business. One of their key side effects or the characteristics are to post consistently. So that's what I mean by timing. So again, to wrap everything, 3 types of consistency. I don't know why I said it like that. 3 different types of consistency is timing, branding, and personality. If you're on YouTube and you're watching this, I want you to grab a piece of paper right now. Yes, you right now. And grab a pen, because obviously I'll be asking you to write. And I want you to write down the ideal audience member that you want to attract. Go ahead, go do that. And you can pause the video whenever to kind of write down who your ideal audience is. But this is kind of like what the big company execs do. They ask you to draw out an imaginary person called a character sheet. And they go as far into the detail as creating a fake name, what their likes are, what their personality is, what they like to do, their habits. And your goal after that is to create the content that that fake person would genuinely like. So in this time right now, you can pause the YouTube video right now and draw out your ideal person. You can even draw the person if you want to. You can give them a fake name. You can give them habits, dislikes, passions, their background history, so on and so forth, and then draw like an arrow right above it or below it, whatever your preference is, and talk about what type of content do they want to see? What type of content is on their For You page? What would they like? What would they share to their friends? What would they share with their parents? What would they share to their siblings? What would they share to their spouse or their partner in terms of content? So after you do that, step back and take a look at it. And that is exactly how you have to come up with content. Obviously, you probably went a little imaginary with this fake person, but what execs do is that after this exercise, the execs will say, now do this, but make this fake person you. Now, let me rephrase that. You as a content creator, when you create your ideal audience member, draw out the character so that it reflects who you are. Because at the end of the day, you should be proud of your content. And also that content should represent who you are. If you take a look at the current postings and the current content that you have out right now that's already existing on your social media platform, does it really represent who you are? Does it really represent your business? And are you proud of it? If not, that is a big problem to why your content has been stressful, why it hasn't been working, why it has been inconsistent. Because you're not proud of it. It's not who you are. And it doesn't reflect who you are and what you're trying to become and what you're trying to build. It could really look salesy too. It can really look like bad marketing as well. So after that exercise, really spend some time on it. This exercise typically takes about 15 to 30 minutes. So really take your time. I want to see arrows drawn everywhere. I want to see scribbles and drawings even, to really open up your eyes in a sense to who you're trying to build content for, as well as why you're building this content. And this exercise is going to help because it genuinely has helped me. And at the end of the day, it's all about making a human connection. And if you can't do that, what's the point? Next, give 110% personality. Like I said before, it's all about making a human connection. This is definitely by far the hardest obstacle, the hardest mountain to overcome, to achieve. First things first, I want to mention that you should never try to be someone that you are not. And it sounds easy, but it's extremely, extremely difficult. And I'm going to say something that's going to really be cringy and difficult for you to swallow. I highly, 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 highly recommend to show your face or a consistent face of the company within your social media. I know you don't want to do it. I get it. You're camera shy. I get it. You have public speaking fear. I get it. But what if I told you, if there's a solution to overcome those fears and those anxiety and those insecurities online? There's so many videos online. There's so many coaches online that you can meet or that you can watch to help you overcome and build a confidence of being in front of the camera. of being literally the face of the camera. Why Scale My Cleaning Business is so successful on social media is because we have two consistent faces that we always premiere, we always show on our Scale My Cleaning Business social media, which is Min and Alex. Sometimes I show up there, but that's only because I'm the content director and I offer tips and advice of social media, which is really important. So I kind of have to be on there because I'm more knowledgeable than Min and Alex upon that. But in terms of growing your cleaning business, scaling in systems, lead generation, sales, marketing advice, that's kind of like our meat and potatoes of our social media. So therefore, I believe that Alex and Min should be on it more frequently. But the main important thing is that how they portray themselves on social media is exactly how they are. It's 100% of their personality. But where does that extra 10% come into play? And that extra 10% come into play because I'm not saying you have to create this facade, and I'm not saying you have to create this personality to really show off on social media, but you do have to have somewhat of showmanship when you're on social media because, late night TV show host, it's who they are and a little more. Sometimes it's a lot more. Like one of my favorite examples is Conan O'Brien. He's obviously, with his background going to Harvard and being one of the writers of The Simpsons, he's genuinely and authentically a very funny person, a very witty person, and a very intelligent person. But obviously when he does these late night TV shows, his laughs, his frantic movements, his very animated persona, that's kind of like the 100% and more. Now, I'm not asking you to give as additional effort to Conan O'Brien, but just give 10% more personality. Like, for example, the way I'm talking right now, I'm a bit more animated. I have lots of hand gestures, but if you know me on a personal level, I know that whenever I talk, I speak the same way, but maybe I use less hand gestures and I'm not moving so much. I am moving because I'm a little nervous, but I usually, when I talk to my friends or my family, I'm actually very still and I talk in this way. I do have these pauses, but for the sake of the training video and for the sake of you watching it throughout the training, I want to have a little bit of showmanship by showing a little bit of personality. And sometimes that extra 10% or that 20% or even that extra 5% is going to help you overcome that camera fear because you're kind of not forcing, but you're kind of pushing through it. And the more you do it, the more you build this tolerance, and that's ultimately going to help you. So like I said before, this part of content creation, especially if you're a business owner, is going to be the hardest thing. It's going to be the hardest obstacle. And if you are someone that builds content for people, it's really important to encourage them, compliment them, just be like, hey, you have a very unique way of talking. Hey, you have a great smile. Hey, you look great in that company uniform. Highly recommend to either make a tutorial video or a how-to before and after, or to interview a client, interview a testimonial, or record a testimonial, I should say, and show your face more because, like I said in the other slides, people come back for you, people come back for who you are, and the best way to showcase that is your face. I hope we're in agreement there. But like I said before, just to recap this slide, personality first. Give 100% of who you are and your genuine self, and add just a little bit more. Although it sounds counterintuitive for someone who's camera shy, that surprisingly and ironically will help. Let's move forward. I'm not gonna flip my page because I have a lot of stuff written down. Stop being so serious. It's not cool seeing people trying to be cool all the time. And like I said before, people aren't dumb. People aren't stupid. They're gonna smell that you're being fake or you're trying to be extra or you're trying to be too cool all the time. Just drop the facade. People kind of like mistakes and people like a little bit of flaws in some people because it makes them unique. It makes them different. Being cool isn't what makes you unique. More often than not, it's actually very cringy and very annoying. So be okay to being a little vulnerable, have a little fun. There's a level of rawness that people genuinely appreciate. And I still to this day, no brand is too premium or no brain is too cool or no brain is too put together. No matter what type of tier that you are within a business, there's always a way to be real. And usually the case, if you try to be so put together all the time, then your content productivity is going to drop because you're going to picture yourself as someone that you're not. Like I said before, you have to be you. You have to be 100% you, not 100% not you. That just doesn't make sense. So stop being so serious. Have fun with it, because if you have fun with it and you're passionate about it, you can produce more content that you're proud of. Your audience will genuinely see what type of person you are, and they'll choose whether or not to be with you or to follow you or to become a fan of yours. And trust me, there's no harm in being who you are unless you are a psychopathic maniac. Not cool. But I met a lot of you guys. I met a lot of cleaning business owners. I met a lot of small, mid, high tier business owners. And all of you guys have the same drive and the same passion and the same love for your company, but you don't choose to show it. You choose to be someone else. You try to be another Gary Vee. You're trying to be another Grant Cardone. You're trying to be another Tony Robbins. Just be you. And people are going to follow you. If you look at the biggest cleaning company accounts or the content creators or influencers, a lot of them, most of them, they have this rawness and this passion and this sense of self-awareness that people genuinely appreciate. That's why when you look at their comment section, they're always so, like, people are opening up to them, people are being vulnerable with them because the content creator or the account became vulnerable to their audience. When I say vulnerable, I'm not trying to mean like open up with a sob story, but you don't have to come out with the Rolex and the suits and the Teslas to gain attention. If anything, you'll get the wrong type of audience. If you want the right type of audience and you feel as though you can speak with those ideal hot leads when you're in person, treat it like that and post content for those people. And like I said before, it is a long, slow process, but it's eventually going to pay off. I guarantee it. Here are some quick, simple production tips that's going to help you start off your content creating journey, right? And some of the things I want to talk about are soft light, highlight, dark background, clarity, and personality. So when I talk about soft light, that is going to be a light where it can be at an angle, and those soft lights is actually going to help you fill in the wrinkles. It's going to put light on the face, and it's gonna, how should I say it? It's going to make you look a little brighter. Obviously right now with this extremely sunny window in the background, it makes my face a little dark. So I did try to have, I should turn my camera. I do try to have a light right here on the side. So once it's nighttime, when I create most of my content, I will be the brightest feature. And it's a soft light. It's not a hard light directly in my face. That's also considered a soft light as well due to the texture and the cover around it. But when I say soft light, it helps fills in the wrinkles. It makes you look young. There's light on your face, and people usually typically follow the brightest thing in the video. Let's talk about highlight. That's a little light in your eyes that you want to kind of showcase. And a lot of times when you're wearing glasses, there is a glare. So people who usually wear glasses usually wear contact when they create these content. But if you're a cleaning business owner, you're probably most likely going to be outside, whether you're in the property or the residential home. You're probably going to showcase the property and the clean and stuff like that. So you don't really need to worry about soft light or highlight. Just make sure that it's bright and not too dark. If you're in a place where it's dark, I would highly recommend the camera to have a light behind the camera so that whenever you're aiming at something, there's light projected on it as well as the face. If you are sitting at home, I would recommend having a dark background because, like I said before, people are going to follow the brightest thing in the room. If you were to imagine a black background right behind me, you'll see the shirt, you'll see my face, you'll see the little twinkle in my eye. That's typically what you want to do. clarity. When I talk about clarity, I'm not talking about the camera quality, although that's important. Keep the background clean. I should really put those manila envelopes and those other envelopes away so that it's not distracting. Really the only thing is the light right there, but make sure wherever you're recording it's clean. That's why it's a safe bet to record in front of a dark background, because you can minimize the chance of cleaning up your room because it's just that one background. And your personality, you may not associate that with a production tip, but you can have your background mirror your personality. So for me, I'm actually going to have cameras, some tech equipment, some of my favorite film collectibles in the background to kind of show off who I am, because I'm a social media coach. Therefore, in my mind, I should have some social media things, some really trendy things in the background to kind of give off who I am. Like if you were to look at podcasts, for example, like visual podcasts on YouTube, like for example, I follow a basketball podcast. His name is JJ Redick. He has like jerseys and like basketball picture frames and like his own basketball career memorabilia in the background to kind of show off who he is. So that's really, really cool. And once I see that in the first couple of seconds, I'm gonna want to keep watching. But then you may be thinking, oh, isn't it distracting throughout the entire video? No, it's just to kind of like set the tone, set the story, so that while you're watching, it kind of becomes a faded background and you get to focus on what the actual person is talking about. So clarity and personality, they're important, but I'm not saying you have to sacrifice one or the other. I do prefer having a little bit of personality in the background because it kind of shows off who you are. It doesn't look too dull with just a white background. But if you are to have some personality in the background, you can incorporate clarity into it by keeping your background clean and organized and not too distracting, right? So hopefully that helps. So we're kind of wrapping up here. Another tip of social media is the Nefario syndrome. You know, Nefario is short for nefarious, and if you're nefarious, it kind of means that everything that you do has kind of like a selfish intent to it. When you're building this content, it's really easy to slip into the mindset of, oh, if I build this content, I'm going to bring in so many people. Oh, I'm being so strategic right now. And if you're strategic, more often than not, it brings you into this dark realm of being manipulative and selfishly analytical towards things. And I don't want you to ever go into that mindset, because if you happen to fall into that mindset, then your content is going to be salesy. It's going to be bad. It's going to smell like marketing. It's going to be shit marketing. It's going to be selfish. It's going to be greedy. It's going to be cringy. That's really you don't want to be in that situation. So like I said before, it's more of a mindset thing, this Nefario syndrome. But if you want to constantly remind yourself to be genuine and authentic and real and vulnerable, just always be a service rather than nefarious, because once you're nefarious, you then become a disservice to your ideal audience and your potential prospects. And if you're nefarious, you'll soon realize that it won't be successful. This route won't be successful. And like I said before, this nefarious syndrome is actually it's a combination of all the steps that I brought together. As long as you avoid the nefarious syndrome, or at least able to kind of recognize when you're being nefarious, when you're creating content, and you'll soon realize that creating content is going to be really easy, it's going to be smooth, and it's going to be real, it's going to be fun, and it's going to be very beneficial towards your business. So let's run through a recap. Content shouldn't be taken lightly or too seriously. It's all about consistency and passion. Like I said before, number one, you're not over content. Content is king and will always be king. 2, stop selling your shit. If it smells like marketing, it's shit marketing. The 3 C's, which is what? Creation, collaboration, and curation. If you know the difference and you understand the importance and the effects of those 3 C's, it'll allow you to be genuine and be purposeful. 4, be consistent. It's good to understand that this is going to be a long process. You're not going to have a banger video overnight. If you do, and you don't follow up with consistent posts, then it'd be insane of you to think that you're going to be successful in terms of content creation. It's going to be crazy to think that you'll be successful without successful content creation. So consistency is the key. Personality first, be you plus a little bit more, which is where that 10% falls in. I'm not asking you to be fake. I don't recommend you to be fake, but have a little bit of personality, show who you are, because people genuinely like rawness and realness. And if you showcase that, I guarantee you, people are going to recognize that and would want to follow you. And while you're being you, don't fall back into being so serious. Drop the facade, be more vulnerable, have a little bit of fun, because people do appreciate that. People are going to smell that you're trying to be cool, or you're trying to be this fake guru or this multimillionaire if you constantly try to be like that. Because imagine if they actually meet you. Imagine a situation where you can't support or prove that you are this fake person. It's not going to be pretty, and it's going to be very defeating. It's going to mess up with your ego. It's going to mess up with who you are. It's going to mess up your personality, and then ultimately you're going to be depressed, and it's not going to work out at the very end. Next, simple production tips. Quality is important. You want to be able to stand up from your competitors, but that doesn't mean to put up this facade. Standing out with your competitor doesn't mean who's the loudest, who's the coolest, who has the most money. It's who's the most passionate, because most of your competitors within your area are going to be this outlandish, selfish, cocky, ignorant person. I'm not saying that they are, but there are, not they are. And of course, the Nefaria syndrome. This is a combination of all the other steps. The Nefaria syndrome is essentially when you fall into this mental state of selfishness, cockiness, and greediness that's going to prevent your content from ever being good, let alone having content out in the first place. Have fun with it. Enjoy it. Show off who you are, and you will never ever fall into this Nefaria syndrome. So that's pretty much the training. That's pretty much everything that I want to talk about. Hopefully that makes sense. The past couple of trainings have been very technical. They've been very, this is how you do this. This is how you do that. We're going to break down how this works. So I wanted to give a training where we sit down, we take a breather, have a cup of tea, write down some notes, do a little bit of an exercise, and reflect on who we are, what our content should be, and hopefully this inspires you to create the best content out there.
Actually, I didn't have, because I thought the training was very thorough and very simple. So yeah, I got everything that you explained, and it was very good. I've been making a lot of mistakes with my own, because I usually post in my social media, so I've been making a lot of mistakes there. But
what type of mistakes?
Yeah, I'm gonna like on and off posting the same things over and over and over again. Yeah, because I thought like consistency meant posting the same thing, so people could get used to having that image of who I am. But yeah, thanks for the explanation today. I'm gonna definitely change a few things on my social media so it can be better.
Yeah, and usually the first step I tell people that kind of went through that, first of all, Carmen, it's normal. It's not like you did a bad thing. It's what everyone does, but they don't realize that it's a mistake. But I'm really glad that you finally realized that you can be more. So the first thing you should do is to follow not influencers, but content creators that genuinely create really good content. See what they post and see how you envision yourself posting similar content. So what type of content do you post out there?
Well, it's more about graphic designing, because that's what my husband does. So I usually run his social media for him.
Oh, okay.
So he does a lot of graphic designing. So he's always posting the work that he does. But it's basically the same thing. He just like creates something and we just post what he created, and that's it. Basically, we're not having anything different or posting different stuff that will make people like, say, oh, okay, well, this is different. Basically the same thing. So I guess that's one of the reasons why his page doesn't have a lot of engagement, I guess, because it's the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, so what you can do is, since he's a graphic designer, I'm sure his network of other graphic designers is pretty good. I'm sure he follows other accounts that he may draw inspiration from. So it's really cool, especially if he's a graphic designer, because I was in that phase before, to, if he's on LinkedIn, for example, or Facebook, you can reshare some of the posts that you see online. And then you can obviously give your feedback to it.
Right.
Once you do that, the creator that you reshared from is going to view it. He or she may like it, respond to you. Then as soon as they do that, you ultimately combine your audience together. And it also shows a different flavor and a little different accent to your husband's portfolio because it's something else. Another really cool one is giving your opinion and feedback on news or trending things online, because instead of just art, now there's a video of you or your husband or your feedback on some trending graphic designs or your feedback on this on Dunkin' Donuts new logo. This year alone, there's been tons of companies that have rebranded their logo. So a really cool idea would be, you know, your thoughts on the new logo, whether you like the old logo or the new logo. A lot of graphic designers, I don't know what type of graphic designer your husband is, a lot of graphic designers have done their own version of the new logo to see what they would have done differently. That's viral because, for example, I've seen a lot of graphic designers do how they would do the Louis Vuitton logo. I don't know if your husband agrees with this, but a lot of graphic designers hate the Louis Vuitton logo because L's and V's in terms of like typography standpoints don't really work well together. So a lot of people hate the Louis Vuitton logo. So a lot of people have like done rebranding of their own with Louis Vuitton. So that's really cool because imagine if you're scrolling and then you go, this is my version of what Louis Vuitton should look like. Not only do you get people that like Louis Vuitton, you're also going to grab audience members of graphic designs. You're also going to grab people that, like I said, like Louis Vuitton. You're going to grab people that like rebranding. You're going to grab people that like to shop online. That's already 4 major audience circles that you just welcomed into your account. And is it too far-fetched of an idea that a small percentage of them is going to follow you? I don't think it's far-fetched at all. And if you have 4 major audience circles of that size into your video or into the post that you created, that small percentage can be a big number and more. Does that make sense, Carmen?
Okay, all right. Yeah, that does make sense. It's kind of like you expose somebody and at the same time get exposed to yourself.
Yeah, it's all about building a network. I think I wrote in my notes here that I think may help you. Social media is a destination. Social media is a place. Your goal is to, as you're traveling and taking that journey to this social media land, you're trying to bring people with you on the bus. Think of it like that. Social media gets really lonely if you try to get to a destination by yourself. Isn't social media all about networking and bringing people together?
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true.
Thank you guys so much for watching this training. I hope to see you guys soon. I post my trainings every Monday, and hopefully that will help you guys understand that social media is really, really important. Content is definitely key. If you have any questions, you can comment in the comment section below, and I'll be more than happy to give my answer to you. But other than that, have a great rest of your week. Be kind, be productive, be creative, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.